Hola, hola. Welcome to a rare morning edition of the show. I hope this balancing act I've got going with my phone is going to work. Let me see. Okay. All right. All right. You're kind of looking at my nose a little. Sorry about the angle. I had an interesting, brief dream about Mr. 45 that I thought I would share, meaning the 45th President of the United States, whose name shall not be named, like Voldemort. I'd rather say Voldemort than his name, honestly. I'm less worried about Voldemort. So, last night, I was with a friend, like inside of like a shop, or maybe a restaurant, or some kind of. I felt like I was in a big city, like a New York or a Washington, and like in a downtown area. And we were just happened to be in a big shop that was all surrounded by windows. So you could see out every side of it. And so we could see, the street very clearly, and we could see the building next door, which was also had an abundance of glass windows, and then the cars on the street. And suddenly, when we turned and we looked at the exit / entrance to the building right next door to us, sort of like it was like the entrance was set back a little bit from the rest of the storefront. If you can imagine, let me see if I can do this with my hand. You got one building. Here's the building we're in, and then there's little inset, and then the next building, and in this little inset here is where the doors for this building were. Does that make sense? So, and then in the inset, 45 comes out, and he's only with maybe one other person. It's like he doesn't have this whole security detail or entourage, and he gets in this really goofy looking car, which might have even been like teal colored, and it was shaped really oddly. And he was like, kind of like about to do like his whole shtick, like a show, and then try to like drive away. But for whatever reason, when he came out and he like kind of either got in the car or was standing in front of the car and looking around, he like wasn't feeling it. Like, I don't know if there weren't enough people around, or he didn't feel like he wanted to exit this building in this particular way, but he was ready to do his show, his shtick, and but he didn't, and he went back inside. But we knew he was coming back out somehow, and so did other people. Like, the fact that he had peeked his head out the door alerted other people. And somehow, even though we were on the other side of the windows, so we were inside the shop next door, we could hear these two people on the outside saying, yeah, I'm going to give him a hard time when he comes out. This one guy was just saying, I'm going to completely yell at him. I'm going to really give him a hard time. And I thought, haha, yeah, that'll be amusing to watch that. And I was thinking, well, that should be okay. Like, these guys will not be at risk of being arrested just for harassing the former president as he exits this other building and presumably heads wherever he's heading. And then at that point, then there was a car for him that was pulled up to the side of the road. So instead of driving his own kind of clown car outside of the building, which makes no sense in a literal sense, there was actually like a smaller car parked right out in front. So as I said, these two guys are like, yeah, we're gonna completely give him a hard time. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, cool. And maybe this is also what 45 was thinking too, that he would kind of slip out the building, get a little bit of grief from maybe some protesters, but basically that most of the people out around the block who seemed to be like kind of a little group gathering, but that they were mostly his supporters, and that he would come out to great fanfare and applause. Well, when he came out, he nearly got lynched. He came out the door, and the two people who had been talking about yelling at him just started just laying into him, yelling. But they weren't the only ones. Like, the whole crowd was against him. And so much so that he was with maybe only one other person, maybe some kind of security. They got swamped. They were surrounded by people. And they were grabbing at him. And it was kind of like, it was almost like they were going to lynch him. I mean, not literally hang him, but like they were mad. And it was such a large group of people. And then I realized that that majority of people had been silent, except for those two people that kind of telegraphed what they were going to do. But the rest of the people were no happier than they were, and they were ready to pounce on him and unleash all of their pent-up fury. And that's where the dream ended. So like I don't think he quite made it to the car. I'm not to say that they dragged him away or anything violent, but like, I mean, it had a comical aspect to it watching it, but he was so surprised that the entire crowd was against him, whereas he thought it was just going to be a couple of stragglers giving him a little bit of the usual grief that he would just blow off. And so that was interesting to me, and it seems symbolic of where the election is heading, where the polls, which I don't believe for one bit, because a lot of them are coming from Republican-funded polling firms. They seem to be manipulated to suggest that the GOP is poised to take Congress, and it's just not going to be that way. And not only that, but I would say that the majority of people, appointment popping up on my phone, the majority of people now have had it with 45 and his nonsense, total nonsense, complete abuse of the legal system for his entire life, for his stupid, fraudulent businesses, for his stupid, fraudulent presidency. He abuses the systems that are meant to ensure democracy and justice, and it's enough. Everybody's had enough, and we're going to show them with this election. I'm sure of it, but this dream seemed to be confirmation that the masses, excuse me, I mean, yeah, we got some loose screws who are still, excuse me, running around with their red hats. But on the whole, people are done with this clown show, and done with this clown man. And that's what the dream said to me. So I wanted to share that as I think evidence of good news. But it's funny because that's quite a few 45 dreams I've had now, maybe 4 or 5, and in the last couple of years. And you may recall there was one in which he was essentially apprehended by a very capable and intelligent and tactical black woman, which I interpreted to be at the time either Fannie Willis or Letitia James, that they were, one of the two of them was his primary nemesis that was going to really get to him and make things happen to get him off the map, off the territory of the next election, or having continuing influence in the country. So I hope that dream still comes true too. Okay, so that's what I got from here. I'm still shaking off the morning fog, so forgive me for that. It's time for the first coffee of the day, and I hope you have a great one. Try to keep your spirits up. Yeah, it's going to be quite a week next week, but the right result will emerge. Believe it, make it so, help manifest it by helping to believe that it's so, and I will do the same. Okay, take care. Bye.